even with the opening, starting with the heist, it feels kind of slow. And I'm going to give this to a long running time. We're talking about over 2 hours.
Yeah.
With this, it's a little bit over 2 hours. But I will say that Den of Thieves Part 2, Pantera.
Like the band?
Like the band, except not.
Okay.
But kinda, but no. Maybe, not really. No, we're talking about the movie, the sequel to Den of Thieves Part 1.
Right.
No Pantera.
Okay.
And with this, people, I didn't even know there was a Den of Thieves Part 2 until about 48 hours ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't know until like 48 hours ago when they said it was the #1 movie at the box office.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was texting you. I was like, oh, this first movie's on HBO. Should we talk about it? And you're like, the new one came out yesterday. I was like, it did?
Yeah. Before that, I think I said, there's another one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm sure everybody who got asked back was like, we doing another one of these?
Yeah, people. Listen, I don't remember much about Den of Thieves Part 1. I remember that Gerard Butler was an asshole in it. I remember there was a bunch of dudes robbing something, taking some money, you know. I remember I remember 50 Cent scaring the shit out that kid who was there to take his daughter out for a prom date. You thought Will Smith and Martin what's his name?
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence. You thought that they were bad. They ain't got nothing on 50 Cent and these damn Samoans or whoever he's hanging out with here. It's like, damn, before you take the daughter out, we got dibs first.
Prison rules.
How many dudes they got in that garage?
Too goddamn many. And they so big, I don't even know how they fit all their big asses in that garage.
Yes, sir.
Tôi sĩ kêu hai hữu ở ngoài tay mình. Thế? Qua mới tôi hít lắm mày vậy?
He said, I got dibs first. Move, let me get some of that. Yeah, now that part I remember. I actually like 50 Cent in that part right there.
I like that he says, do you understand me? Because the answer is no. I do not.
you weren't really opening your mouth all that well,
Yeah.
so I missed most of that.
My daughter.
He's like, this dude's sweating. Like,
Is he speaking English?
Jesus, I don't understand you.
Take that cassage on. Listen, how do you feel good tonight?
Dude just jumps the window. He jumps in that window like that. Fuck this. Never calling that girl again. As for the movie, I do remember liking it. I remember liking Gerard Butler, who stood out as an asshole, and no one liked him in the movie. Like, I remember his family hating him or something. I remember liking the supporting cast in this. O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, it was right off the heels of Straight Outta Compton. We were like, oh, happy to see him doing other things.
Yeah, that's right. It sure was after that. But I remember also liking it in a way that I would like a Netflix streaming movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was kind of like,
It was it was before things like this were streaming on Netflix. But now you'd be like, no, that's where this belongs.
Yeah, this very much seemed like a Netflix movie
because,
today.
as much as it's trying to be hard, it's forgettable.
Yes, as we just said right now. All we remember is like 50 Cent mumbling and scaring the shit out of dude who was also very confused. He almost looked the rest of the guy like, any of y'all know?
Is anybody going to translate?
Yeah, everybody going to tell what the
A lot of people in here who understand him, and I don't.
Yeah, he's mumbling. I like the way he asked the one dude back there, sir, can you translate for me?
Tôi sĩ kêu hai hữu ở ngoài tay mình.
Oh, Jesus. Does anybody speak English in here? Anyone?
Can you say that again into my Google Translate?
Dude comes to speak Spanish and shit. Oh, I'm out of here, man. But yeah, man. As far as the first one goes, like I said, man, okay, fine. It didn't seem like I hated it, but I remember thinking like, hey, this is probably today something that would be better off for Netflix or some streaming service of the like out there. So when was that?
That's it. I said, sure.
Yeah. So, so when I looked over to see that there was Den of Thieves Part 2, What I immediately did was, because they said it was out. Before I knew it was number at the box office, I saw it was out.
Yeah.
And so I went on my computer and said, well, what streaming service is this on? And then saw that. And then when I looked it up and saw showtimes at a theater, I investigated more and then saw that it was indeed number one at the box office this weekend. And I remember saying to myself, you know what? You know it's January when Den of Thieves Part 2 is number one.
Everybody's seen everything else.
Yeah.
They just want something new no matter what it is.
Shit, girls are going to see this. They're trying to see Wicked for the 10th time. So yeah, man, January, you know, what can I tell you? So I did want to check it out for myself because I was very curious to see if there was something about this that made it stand out and made it worthy of being number one at the box office, or even being at the box office at all, being in a theater, period.
Or maybe they got it right this time.
Or maybe they got it right this time. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I think I was the only one to see this, and I have to apologize to you guys, especially you, because I was looking to see what to do today, and really didn't figure things out until kind of later in the day, and this was one of them. But I'm going to be giving my impression. I'll tell these guys about it and tell you about it after this.
You stole something that belongs to us.
Yeah.
That's always the case.
I don't know why they always stealing from these damn European gangsters, man, but that's the thing. They always stealing from these people, and these people, of course, they always
belongs to us.
They always want their shit back. And they always look like this dude too.
They do.
Where's that guy? They always got a beard and shades. They always look like that dude right there.
Watch our six. Those aren't police headlights.
Bola, 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 bola. So,
Looks exciting.
Well, here's the thing. So, looking at this right here, the big question is, was there a reason for another Den of Thieves? What was the reason for another Den of Thieves?
It's not about the money.
Bullshit. It is completely about the money, first of all. The last movie didn't make it didn't make a ton of money, but for the amount of money it was made for, it was a $30 million budget on that movie. And then the movie, during the course of its run, by the time it was done, it made, I believe, $80.5 million.
Okay.
So yeah, it's enough to where it's a good starting point. It probably doesn't take, this movie probably didn't cost a whole lot more. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why they probably made another one. It's low budget, high return. So we kind of know why they came back, but really, story-wise, what was the excuse to have some of these people come back to make another movie? Well, this is where things actually impressed me. This is where the movie actually impressed me. So apparently, old O'Shea Jackson Jr., who's Donnie in the movie. See, this is something I forgot. I had to actually look this up, y'all. So apparently in the last movie, he was by the end of it, little spoiler here, y'all, he was the one running things.
Yeah.
He was seen as a lowly prisoner who was just caught up. And by the end of it, he was the mastermind, the twist, if you will. So now he's in France and he's trying to pull off one of the biggest heists of his life, one of the biggest jobs of his life with a group called the Panthers. And the Pantera, that's the task force, the cops that have been assigned to get them, to go out and get them and stop them. And he also has a fine-ass partner, Giovanna, who's played by this actress, Evan Ahmed. And her gang, they want to rob the very heavily guarded World Diamond Center. And when they steal those, when they steal the gems from there, then they're going to sell them to somebody else for a big amount of money. That is, if they don't get killed by the other big European mafia guy that he stole from right there. So the catch here, though, is that Nick is back. And Nick is Gerard Butler's character from the last movie. And Nick in this movie, he's as big an asshole as he was, if not bigger, from the last film. And the thing is, with him being an asshole, he pretty much did a lot of things in his life to mess it up. But one of the things he can't stand is that old Donnie got away from him, made him look like a fool. so he's pretty pissed about that. And that's when he comes in and he says, you know what? My life has gone to shit. You didn't really help any on that. And I want in on this plan. You know, I ain't got no money. I ain't got nothing to lose. So whether you like it or not, you're gonna bring me in. Make the introduction. So the thing with him that they see maybe being an asset is that he still is a cop. That's why he's there in France. He's in France to actually, they think, to capture or help the Pantera capture this group of heist people. But, you know, since his life has gone to shit, can he be trusted? Is he working with them? Is it an asset to have a cop on the inside who could actually fill them from along the outside? Or is he actually working to capture them from the inside and get back at Donnie?
Okay.
You know, so that's one of the reasons why they brought this back. The story actually here, with this being more of a heist movie now, you know, that's where they get to tweak the genre a little bit. You know, because the first movie, they were in the streets. You know, that was a street thriller, man. That was a gritty crime thriller. This one is very much more a heist flick. I mean, this is you know, we are talking about, you know, pretty much fancy Ocean's 11 type thing going on right here.
Right.
In the first movie, which one of them was framed as the hero?
Oh man, I don't think anybody really is a hero. Even Nick is not that. He's kind of slimy the way he goes about things.
Okay.
So that, you know, the thing is, in the first movie, they're all, being that it's a very gritty crime thriller, everybody's kind of a scumbag in there. Nick is barely doing what he's supposed to do, from what I remember.
So they come together to be scumbags in the new one.
Yeah. Nick is like, you know, well, I'm losing everything, so I need to just get some money. That's why you're gonna pull me in, and I can help you from the inside with the cops. But with this, even with the opening, starting with the heist, it feels kind of slow. And I'm gonna give this to a long running time. We're talking about over 2 hours.
Yeah.
With this, a little bit over 2 hours. But I will say that also in the beginning, like I said, but you know, it seemed like there's not a lot of personality. You got types.
Yeah.
You got all, you know, the guys are, you either got the muscle or the brains, the hothead, but they don't really have any personality beyond that. So that's why the movie's a little dry in the beginning. But I will say, as the movie continues on, and like I said, it was a long time, things do pick up, you know, and that's mainly thanks to Gerard Butler and him acting with O'Shea Jackson here. You know, they're good together, man. You know, they really are. I don't know if it's because they had chemistry from the last movie. I don't know if it's because they just made some good dialogue and some good scenes for them. But, you know, those two together, I like them, man. And at first, you know, I was like, oh, here we go. We just doing this old manly ass tough guy macho thing.
Yeah.
That's the way it starts out with them.
When people pull guns on people, why don't you just shoot them?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just playing. But no, it's a good line he has after that.
You're not a killer. I am. No one gets over on me.
So, you know, they're setting up you know, how they have this thing going between them. Nick holds very much a grudge. That's cool. But all right, yeah. Tough guy talk, pointing guns at each other. You know, the usual. Yeah. But as the movie goes on, though, and what they're not showing you really in this trailer is that, so now, as you see, since they are working together reluctantly, it becomes a buddy film. And even when you saw the trailer right there,
you could tell from that.
You could tell now we're at the point where, I guess the trailer did show you a little bit. Now we're past the tough guy thing.
Yeah.
Now that we got to work together, let's get the old yucks in there. You know, now we're a buddy. Now we're a buddy, a reluctant buddy film with a little bit of humor thrown in.
I got fucking new. Now what? Swim. I can't swim that far. I'm negatively buoyant.
You know, you always got the buddy where one can swim and the other can't swim. You know, they're mixed mashing every kind of way.
Wait a minute. He planned this elaborate heist, but he didn't know who he was stealing diamonds from?
No. There's a lot of dumb shit in here.
Okay.
There's a lot of, listen, there's
Well, I can't think of everything. Oh, Jesus.
There is a lot of dumb shit in here, man. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, they devised the creative genre bending reason for them to come back. I didn't say it was completely smart.
Okay.
Right? There's a lot of shit that they don't think of. You just have to go with.
Okay.
Whether you want to go with that or not, that's on you. And if you don't go with it, you are well within your rights not to. I ain't gonna argue with you like, man, that don't make no sense. Yeah, no, you're right.
That's usually the case with some of Jared Butler's movies. You just got to go with it.
If you are somebody who wants to be a criminal and you don't know who you're stealing from, maybe you shouldn't be in that life.
Right.
Maybe you should be better on Shopify. Hey, I'm trying to help you now. Maybe crime is not your thing. So let me take a time out to give a word to our sponsor, which is Shopify, and I might save your life right here. You don't need to be no criminal. Maybe you are more suited as an entrepreneur. After all, you're creative. You make cool things. A lot of people in our community, they make a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool art. I promise you, a lot of that stuff, you're productive. You can sell it online, and a good place to start, the best place to start, is with Shopify. Get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. You don't have to do any coding. Shopify makes it easy to manage your growing business. They help with details like shipping, even taxes, and payments, all from one single dashboard, allowing you to focus on the important stuff, and that's selling and growing your business out there. So what happens if you don't act now? Hey, listen, somebody might get that idea from you. You're gonna be like, damn, I thought of that. Well, you know what? You thought of it, they did something. They got on Shopify right here. And like I said, with Shopify, listen, whether you are making that first sale or that potential million sale out there, with Shopify, that first sale is closer than you think. And they want to help you out to get started. So let me help you out by showing you this right here. All lowercase, by the way, shopify.com/toasted. You put that in, you'll get a $1 per month trial period. I want to thank Shopify for sponsoring this portion of the show, and I want to thank all of you out there for your support. So let me see here. So that dryness that I was talking about in the movie, it does eventually work for the film. Mm-hmm. You know, besides Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson getting along together and have some good chemistry in the movie. So these days, there are a lot of action movies that could be great, but everybody want to be Marvel. You know,
oh no,
all of them turn to cartoons. All of them. That's what happened to Fast and Furious.
Right.
And everybody's superheroes. Everybody's flying cars over the Grand Canyon and dropping 1,000 feet and walking out of alive and not a scratch on them. Everybody's a superhero now. Everybody's doing action for set pieces. Everybody's doing action for the biggest explosions. Oh my God, look at all this CG I could afford to put in here. That's not what's happening here.
Okay, good.
No, that's one of the things about this having a lower budget. That's one of the things about this actually taking that grittiness from the first film. Mm-hmm. You know, it takes that grittiness from the first film, makes it feel more like a Michael Mann movie.
Okay.
And if y'all don't know Michael Mann is one of the greatest gunfights or shootouts in a movie. Parts of this sometimes feels like something like Heat. Not as good. Don't get it mistaken. It's just kind of the tone and the grounded feel of something like that. Something like Heat is applied here. You saw a little bit of the car chase that they were having there in the trailer. So that is a perfect example of how this feels more like a more mature, grounded action movie from the 80s or the mid 90s or early 90s.
Watch our six. Those aren't police headlights.
Hold on! I can't even breathe!
Now, if this has been another movie, the car would have turned around and they started fighting each other in the cars. They would have passed each other, fighting each other. The cars would have got up and been swinging at each other. You know, that's not what they do here. So you see how that kind of felt like Heat in a way.
Yeah.
Even some people said the first movie was kind of heavily based on Heat.
You know what the biggest difference between that and Heat, the clip that you showed, the sound really stood out to me. Because I know that Heat, they were very specific with the sounds of the guns going off. And at first I thought the sound editing was pretty good on that clip. But the more it went on, the gunshots started sounding cheap.
Well, I mean,
but they were playing with the audio in a nice way, I thought.
Well, you know, the Heat is known for it's just expert engineering with sound. It looks good to be a movie somewhat on a budget compared to a lot of things that we see. You know, I'm not trying to say the movie's cheap, But again, looking at a lot of stuff where they just kind of go overboard sometimes.
Sure.
This does well with what it has. I mean, it seems like the budget's kept it balanced. The tone has kept it balanced. Also, another cool thing with this is that, and you saw this in the trailer. A lot of this takes place in Europe, with mostly European characters, and that very much sets it apart from the first film. Look, it's beautiful. Who doesn't like looking at the French,
French Riviera.
French Riviera and the coast and all that kind of stuff. And you saw it right there. All these gorgeous villas and everything that we have right here. They even show you them drinking wine at fancy restaurants, going to clubs and whatnot.
Is that Nice?
Yeah, it is. It is in Nice. But all that, makes it feel like this is not only a different kind of film, but it makes it feel like it's a more sophisticated movie. The first one, like I said, first one about them streets. This one feels more like Bond.
Okay.
Discount Bond, but
Okay.
but Bond. Also with this being in Europe, it's kind of fun to watch Gerard Butler just be, just the dumb American coming in and clashing with all the Europeans here and whatnot. It's a stereotype within itself. But Gerard Butler does it so well.
Yeah, you saying it's like James Bond. It was giving a little bit of Mission Impossible. So this looks like the bad guy, equivalent of Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Of course, again, not as technically sophisticated and slick. This is more about location and these guys being down and dirty in a way. More the thing, think of it being just these guys having a little bit more sophistication than those dumbasses in Ocean's 11.
Sure.
I'll tell you, like I was telling you earlier, man. Even though this tries to be more sophisticated, it gets silly like a lot of heist movies. A lot of heist movies just do shit because they put themselves in a corner and they don't have any way to get out of it, and then they end up doing some shit that don't make sense.
Right. Because the agenda is all about looking cool, and then and they write themselves into a corner.
Yeah, boy, listen. If there's anything I can complain about with this, I'm getting tired of people just hacking them their ways out of situations. Just hacking. If there's a keyboard right there, you got somebody who just I'm a hacker. They just hack their way out of situations. Yeah, man. There's a point where they hacking their way out of a situation. There's another point where they figuring things out at the last minute. Well, that camera over there, if we just hack this over here, oh man, no. We know this is bullshit.
That only works in video games.
Yes. You are not thinking about this shit and getting out of it right on the spot. Okay, this takes planning. All right, I'm sorry. I don't care how good of a hacker you are. I don't care how much y'all plan. I don't care how many times y'all done this before. This makes no goddamn sense. All right, I know this. And listen, I know that this is a cheaper movie, but man, you don't get off either. Come on. And also, as much as I'm giving credit to this movie for again being a little slicker and more sophisticated, and like I said, it's all pretty much because of the location and the people they're hanging out with, it still didn't stop them from doing just some low down trashy things right here, man. Things y'all don't need to be doing. Because this is O'Shea Jackson Jr. They got to remind us of who his daddy is.
Oh, come on.
Let this boy stand on his own. Somebody made a police reference.
Yeah.
Right there. And they made it look right at him like, hey, your daddy be proud, wouldn't he?
You get that?
Yeah,
You pick up on that?
Bet you never heard that before.
Yeah. He's like, come on, man. Just let me stand on my own. They got to do a reference to the West Coast, which is cool. I know West Coast is king right now, But also, they got to do just blatant. We've seen it over and over again. Just blatant product placement. Let me make sure that logo is looking at the camera right there. And everything I'm telling you, most of it, except for the police reference, most of it is done all in one scene. Look at
Delicious. Play that back. That was a handful.
He suddenly turned into Knuckles.
Yeah. Boy, Doritos, boy, y'all.
I was going to say this reminded me of Sonic. That's what I was asking. Is the bad guy becoming friends?
Boy, if Doritos is doing your product placement, they're going to make sure that bag is front and center. Do y'all see that? Front and center.
Yeah.
And boy, and then you talk about sound. They made sure that crunch.
Oh, that was crunchy.
That crunch was loud.
You couldn't hit those bullets, but you sure hit those Doritos crunch.
Maybe they should have packed them guns with Doritos instead of bullets. Boy, them bullet sounds, they were all right, but that one Doritos chip, boy, that shit was crunchy and crisp.
Now, they should have had him take that bag of Doritos on the heist. So he's eating it. It's like, shh, what are you doing?
Shit, I'm surprised the heist wasn't to get that bag of Doritos right there. And look at his face like, this show is good.
I ain't never had this flavor before. What you call this? Nacho cheese, huh?
It's probably pissed. It was like the third take. They're like, all right, shove a handful of these chips. Like, my gym bro said I can't do this.
Listen to that crunch sound. But we ain't never had no Dorito chip that sounded that crunchy before.
Jesus.
that was kind of funny what they did. Right?
With my Dorito music.
Boy, that bag of Doritos got me though. You know what? I'm surprised he didn't take a bite and look at him and be like, damn, today was a good day.
Oh, God.
For a $40 million movie, it actually looks good. For the most part, the action scenes are done well. I like that they actually did give a reason for them to come back. I mean, O'Shea, his character, Donnie, did get away. You know, I like that there's still this grudge between those two guys. They do work well together. This is something that you can wait for to be on streaming, no problem. But if I saw this at the theater,
Which you did.
which low matinee.
Oh,
Low
okay.
matinee for
All
yeah,
right.
like I know this is not getting the best reviews out there, but it was kind of a surprise for me. I base this on, I'm not gonna run out and see this, but if for some reason I did end up in the theater, I wouldn't have been like, man, what you bring me that shit for? I'd be like, that was fun.
Okay.
So very low matinee, but trust me, you can't wait for this to go to streaming. But it's a fun time either way.
Wait, did you say the reason he was pulling this heist? Because I'm just thinking, since he got away with it the last time, did he
he's just on another job now.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's just moved to another job.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, with all that money that he collected on the last one, I don't see why-
Greedy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You see, it's one of those things where I didn't really care that much. I didn't really think, because I couldn't remember what happened in the last movie.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I'm probably not gonna remember a lot of shit that happened in this movie. The only thing I'm gonna remember is that damn bag of Doritos right there, because they put that shit in front of my face and made me eat it.
Open up, Corey.
Yeah.
When you go see this movie, they should give you a little small bag of
They
Doritos.
should. He should. Yeah. No, it's fun, man. If it's something that somebody came out and said, I could have waited for that to come home. I totally get it. Just for me, it was all right. I had to get up and watch it today. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I mean, I talked to one person who hated it.
Yeah. I don't understand the hate for it, but I mean, whatever. Yeah. I didn't.
Every once in a while, Gerard Butler makes a decent movie. I remember last year he made a movie. I don't know if you guys reviewed it, the Plane movie.
Yeah. You like that?
Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty good.
Even before that, Greenland was great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I remember not liking that Plane movie. And I saw it again. I was like, what's wrong with you, man? It's like
I felt that way with you at the first
Yeah.
time. I was like, come on, man. He makes a lot of schlock. And this one is actually, it's more competent.
I agree with you. I watched it again. It came, what happened? I was like, I remember it was on TV somewhere streaming. And I said, you know what? These guys say it's good. Let me see if maybe I was wrong. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I don't know why I was so hard on this movie, man. I had fun with it. And
it's no Geostorm.
but what is, baby? Geostorm, that's another roast right there. But, I feel about that movie, the airplane movie, kind of how I feel about this one. In fact, that plane movie might be a little bit better than this, but
that one really surprised me.
Are they on the same level in different ways? But yeah, anyway. And Gerard Butler, I think you're right. I think I kind of liked him a lot in the movie. So yeah. Anyway, if you check it out on, I tell you what, if you do check it out on streaming, I don't think you're going to feel like it's a complete waste of your time.
Okay.
But then you got some people like your friend.
Okay.
So
All right.
I don't know.
He said he was bored.
You know what? I can see how he was bored during the early parts of it. But also keep in mind, you know, these days we're told an action movie.
Yeah.
We're told like, you know, we're expecting Fast and Furious now.
Right.
You know, this is not that at all.
And they're kind of selling it like it's a Fast and Furious movie, showing the muscle cars and all that shit.
Yeah, if that's the case, then it's Fast and Furious light. And if they are pushing it that way, then yeah, people are going to be disappointed because these cars don't go, you know, flipping up. They don't go driving down cliffs.
Yeah, Fast and Furious needs to be light.
Yeah.
It's gotten too much.
Yeah. You know, you don't see a dude driving down a cliff and then driving away after he reaches the bottom.
Or,
you know,
or snagging the rope from a rope bridge and swinging like Tarzan.
Exactly.
Or yanking helicopters.
Yeah. Or going, not one of those cars hits the ramp and then goes into space. So, yeah, you know, if that's what you're looking for, you ain't got that here.
It gets fired on by a nuclear submarine and still.
Yeah, and Gerard Butler doesn't kick the missile out the way. What is that? That missile? Get out of here. Like The Rock did.
Yeah.
The Rock kicked a goddamn nuclear missile. Like he was spotting a fly. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.